What's up guys, Diggy here from ProNDC. Welcome to another ESO build video. Today I'm going to show you my Magicka Sorcerer PvP build for Battlegrounds. So it's no CP, so I won't cover any champion points. I will, however, tell you what CP you should focus for Magicka Sorcerer in general. How many points you should put in there, I don't know, because I don't play champion point campaigns right now. I only play Battlegrounds. So it's totally up to you. I just will tell you what to focus. I think my food ran out, so yeah, I will start first. Instead of stats, because it's no CP and I have champion points assigned, we'll start with the consumables. So we're currently using Witch Mother's Potent Brew, which gives us max Magicka, max health, and magic recovery. So actually our health is a little bit too low, so we counter that with prismatic enchantments, which is a good way to get some health and stamina. So our stamina pool isn't too low, and the health pool isn't too low either in Battlegrounds, because you will get 5k additional health. I will talk about the values that you have in Battlegrounds in a sec. As for potions, we use Essence of Health, so tri-stat potions to give us Magicka, stamina, and health immediately, and also boost the recovery. So stat-wise, currently with champion points we're sitting at 2k unbuffed. In Battlegrounds, if you drink a potion, you will be sitting at 2k buffed and 1.1k stamina recovery buffed. We're using the Serpent Stone currently. You will be sitting at 22, like around 20% spell crit. Not too high, but that's no CP. That's just the way it is. Like, because you have a champion point passive that gives you 12% more spell crit. So you don't have that in Battlegrounds. 1k crit resistance, because your wards will drop at some point, and trust me, you want some crit resistance. Like, even if people don't consistently crit in Battlegrounds, you still want some crit resistance to mitigate some damage until you put your wards back up. Serpent Stone for stamina recovery, as I said, Witch Mother's 64 points in Magicka. In Battlegrounds, your stats will look like this. On the back bar, you're sitting at 33k Magicka because of your Master Restoration Staff, 19.8k health, so just under 20k, which is more than enough for the Sorc, and 11.5k maximum stamina. Also enough for roll dodging, break free, and using Dark Deal. Gear wise, we're currently using the Pirate Skeleton monster set. I really like it. I have infused on the big pieces here with the Magicka enchantment, and prismatic on my red shackle breaker stuff on the infused pieces to get my maximum health and maximum stamina. So Pirate Skeleton, we use it because, like, when our wards only last like 6 seconds and they're not that big. Like right now I have points into Bastion because of PvE stuff in your trial. It's 20k, but in Battlegrounds it's only 7.7k. That's like a huge difference, because in PvP your wards are only half the size and you don't have champion points to boost them. So 7.7k isn't that big. Like 2 attacks probably, and your hardened ward is down, and also on top of that it only lasts 6 seconds. So if you have like an organized group, they will put a lot of pressure on you, and Pirate Skeleton will help in reducing the pressure by, first of all, boosting your resistances a little bit, which is nice, but also when your wards are down, you have an 8% chance to transform into a skeleton. This was a little bit buggy, I think, in the past, where you were like for a split second weren't able to control your character, but I don't have any issues with that at all. I'm not sure if they removed it because I didn't use Pirate Skeleton on the Sorc before. And then also your damage taken is reduced by 30%, but also your healing taken is reduced by 15%. But that's not a big issue because you don't heal yourself a lot. You use like your healing board and your dark exchange for getting back health most of the time. Then also, of course, degeneration with your light attacks, but that's a different story. So Pirate Skeleton also works if someone's using Oblivion damage. because it directly attacks your health. So when your health pool takes damage, you will transform into the skeleton. So basically, you could also use the major skill Equilibrium and transform into the pirate skeleton. That basically also works too. Instead of using dark conversion, you could also go with Equilibrium. Preferably, yeah, I'd actually say spell symmetry, like even balance would work, because you get the resistances. But you could use this skill. You can heal yourself for 4 seconds. Good thing is that healing ward will last longer than 4 seconds usually, and your health is lower, and thus your healing ward gets bigger. But that's still a different story. I will talk about that when I talk about skills. So Shackle Breaker, that's our 5-piece set on the body. It's a craftable set. 2 prismatic enchantments. All the other pieces are enchanted with Magicka. I have impen on the small pieces, infused on the big pieces. And it gives us weapon damage, spell damage, magic and stamina recovery, and max stam and max Magicka. People underestimate the set, but the thing is, if you use Witch Mothers, your stamina pool is pretty low. And the thing is that you need some max stam to use Dark Deal a lot, and you will need to use it a lot in Battlegrounds. You can craft the set here in Vardenfell if you have the Mormont DLC. Someone else could craft it for you, of course, or get the crafting station into his house. The crafting station is here. Then we're using 3 pieces of willpower. I currently use 2 recovery glyphs and 1 spell damage. You could also go with 1 recovery, 1 cost reduction, like here, and 1 spell damage. Always keep the spell damage, otherwise your damage will drop quite a bit. So it's your choice if you want to go 2 recovery or 1 recovery and 1 cost reduction. And then we have a random stuff on the front bar for the Berserker enchantment, and this increases your spell and weapon damage by 348 for 5 seconds. And then we use the Master Restoration stuff. Unfortunately, I only have it in Sharpened, but this is still better than the other option. The other option would be to use VMA Inferno staff on the front bar in Sharpened, only if you have it in Sharpened, and the random stuff on the back bar. So the random stuff would have the enchantment of the Juliana stuff that I have, so 348 extra spell and weapon damage, because it transfers to the front bar. And then you have a poison on your VMA staff. This is a damage poison, and it deals a lot of damage. So 1.4k and 900 damage for a couple seconds. 10-second cooldown, but it's still a lot, and it does a good amount of damage. Stat wise, for spell damage, like we're sitting at just below 2k. If I buff myself, I'm sitting at almost 2.3k, and if I use the Berserker glyph, I'm at 2.73k, which is still more than enough. You have options, of course, for your monster stats, so you could go with either a Blood Spawn. That's an option. Gives you stamina recovery, so you have a little bit better stamina management, and you get tankier because you have more resistances if it activates, and you gain 15 ultimate, which is also pretty nice. You could also use Engine Guardian, but honestly, in Battlegrounds, usually people have a little bit experience in small scale PvP, so the thing about this set is that it can get interrupted. Like in open world where you have like a lot of don't quote me on that, like pucks or not, like unexperienced players, Engine Guardian is fine because people, some people won't interrupt it. You will get back free resources. That's pretty good. Another option would be Infernal Guardian, which I don't have with me, of course, because I don't have the helmet. I don't use it. This set gives you max Magicka, and when you use a shield ability, you have 50% chance to use mortars. And I really don't like the set personally. Like, you can use it, adds a little bit more damage on your opponent, and really strong in no CP because you don't have any damage mitigation from champion points. But that's basically the options that you have for monster sets. If you decide not to run with any monster set, you could also drop willpower instead and go with Ember Plasm. Yeah, this is Aurelia's build. He's a really great sword. You gotta check out his channel. I think like he also put up a compilation of his of some Battleground clips, and he uses 5 Shackle Breaker and 5 Ember Plasm. So it gives you a little bit less Magicka than compared to willpower. A little bit less spell damage, but you gain more Magicka and stamina recovery. So that way you could drop one Magicka recovery glyph and get more spell damage. Or you could even like drop both. And you have a ton of stamina recovery. So you get some more stamina recovery, you could use more dark conversion. It's totally up to you. So if you want to go full resource management, you go 5 Ember Plasm, 5 Shackle Breaker. That's a really good setup for no CP, trust me. But I kind of like the tankiness of Pirate Skeleton, and usually people don't put that much pressure on me, that I really like need more like better resource management. Skill wise, we're using the basic skills, so we have our main spammable ability that it can also interrupt, that's Crushing Shock. When it procs, we use Crystal Fragments, and we use Haunting Curse. Like if you knock someone down with Crystal Fragments, it's okay to, like, if he doesn't immediately break out or break free, you could also hardcast another one just to get some more burst if you didn't time it properly with your curse, because your curse, it's a non-dodgeable ability. It will remove cloak. Like if someone uses cloak on a Nightblade, if it explodes, it will take away his invisibility, which is good. And a really good ability that goes off after 3.5 seconds. So what you want to do is time your fragments and your curse. I still need to find my rhythm, because I in the past I was better at timing my fragments and my curse, but it's getting better. And also what you want to do is, of course, use your execute. So you have a 4-second window where you can get your enemy below 20%, and that's actually a real long time. So you want to use your execute before he's at 20%, and then when your fragments and your curse hit at the same time, your execute goes off if you get him below 20%, and it will be a lot of burst at the same time. So basically, if you wanna, let me just try to get some ultimate. If you wanna get more burst, you can use your ultimate. I just need to kill here some opponents first. Come on, give me some ultimate. Yeah, like you saw that. I used the execute before he died, or before he was at 20%, and then I just used other skills and he dropped below 20%, and then the execute just went off. So what you want to do, of course, is time your curse, and if it procs your fragments, but which didn't work here, the enemies don't have enough health. And to get some more burst, yeah, you want to use your Dawnbreaker and block cancel it, or bar swap cancel it. What you can also do is like cast it and bar swap. But you saw that I waited until my curse was about to explode. I pre-executed, and then I used the Dawnbreaker, and it went off at the same time and created a lot of burst. So that's like your burst combination. And of course, if your fragments proc, use them as well to create even more burst. So that's for the offensive bar, except for degeneration. This is our major sorcery buff. I prefer this morph on destruction staff builds, because the light attacks have the chance to heal me for 100% of the damage done, which is really nice. On the back bar, we use Harness Magicka. I'm not sure if this skill is actually worth it if you get back more Magicka. You restore a little bit, like, I'm not sure if you restore enough Magicka to compensate for the cost of the skill. Should be really close, but I still keep it because I'm used to running this skill. Then we have Hardened Ward. This is our main damage skill. Is about 7.7k big in Battlegrounds. Then we have Dark Conversion, which gives us health and Magicka for stamina. That's why we have that high of a stamina recovery. So we use Dark Conversion to get back resources. Yeah, like if we or just let me use Streak to get my Magicka low. So we use Dark Conversion if you're low on Magicka. And you can see that I get back a lot of Magicka by using it. And I don't use a lot of stamina for it, which is really nice. Then we have Streak here. This is our mobility skill. I use the other morph, that's why this is just level 1. But they fixed the bug with Streak. And now you can just like streak through people to stun them, which is also really good. Then Healing Ward. Healing Ward is our emergency shield. So we use that if our health drops low. And like I said, you could combine that with Equilibrium, which can proc your Pirate Skeleton, because you'd like, this is the game thinks if you use the skill that you take damage, but you would get Magicka, but it's not as much as with Dark Conversion. So personally, I prefer Dark Conversion over Equilibrium. But since your health is low and you have 4 seconds, a 4-second cooldown where you cannot heal yourself, you could use Healing Ward after that, and because it lasts at least 6 seconds, you will get the heal afterwards. So what you want to do is like try to get away from the opponent and then like use Equilibrium here, and then use your shield. Or use it 2 times. And then use your shield. And you will get the heal afterwards because the 4-second cooldown is away. The shield of Healing Ward is bigger because your health is lower. Because like the shield's strength is increased by up to 300% depending on the severity of the target's wounds. So this is really nice. And you could run this, but personally I wouldn't do that in Battlegrounds. I mean, you have the chance to proc Pirate Skeleton, but if you don't and your health is low and someone still like attacks you and takes down your shields, you're pretty much screwed up. But in open world, it could be an option. Shooting Star. I use this on the backboard because of Magicka controller, because to get 2% more max Magicka to increase my shield size. That's basically the only reason why I run this skill. Sometimes in a group I even run Negate. What I prefer is the Restoration Stuff Ultimate. I'm not sure what the morph is called. Is it Champion of Light? I'm not sure. I don't have my Restoration Stuff at 50 currently because this is actually a PvE char. But I decided to come back to PvP because of Battlegrounds, so I gotta level it, and it takes a while to get it to 50, and also to level it and morph it. But it's a really good ultimate, and you will get back, you will get more medallion points because you heal others with it. Like you could heal others with it, and that's also pretty nice compared to Meteor. But still, Meteor is a nice option even if it costs a lot. So you want to actually go with low cost ultimates, because Battlegrounds is fast paced and you have more bursts if you have your ultimate up sooner. So that's it for skills. We're not using mines, of course, because mines is just too expensive. Like 5.5k Magicka, that's just too much. Like you'd go with Daedric Minefield. You can run this in open world. So what I would do in open world in champion point campaigns, I'd put mines on my bar instead of degeneration, and instead of my tripods, I'd run my spell power potions to get my Magicka Sorcerer from my potions and also some spell crit. So I'd sit at 42% spell crit. I have mines and my Magicka Sorcerer because my stamina pool is bigger, and I can push my stamina recovery with champion points. I don't have that much of a hard time to sustain, and also my magic recovery is bigger, so I don't need to use dark conversion as much. So for champion point campaigns, I won't tell you any values you or numbers you should put in, but I will tell you what you should focus on. So what's really nice is to put some points into Siphoner, not too many. Warlord is good. You want to reduce the break free cost to manage your stamina pool better for dark conversion and roll dodge, of course. Arcanist and Mooncarve, because your stamina recovery is pretty high. Maybe some points into Tenacity, but I'm not sure. I don't do a lot of heavy attacks in PvP. Then Tumbling and Shadowboard. This is also really good for your stamina management, so you want to put some points into there as well. For the blue tree, for damage, put some points into Elfborn. Try to get almost even numbers, because you have jump points in the CP tree, and it's really important that you try to get them. So 34 is a jump point, because if you put 35, then it's 14.4, and you still only get a 14% damage boost. Even with 36, you only get a 14% damage boost. So you want to get as close to an even number as possible. Same goes for Elemental Expert. So you want to put points into Elfborn, Elemental Expert, some points into Spell Erosion, because it's really strong in Morrowind. Maybe some points in Shattering Blows, and definitely points into Mastered Arms to boost your fragments, and I think also your curse. For the red tree, you want to use put points into Ironclad and some points into Resistant. Try to get your crit resistance to about 1.5k. Hardy Elemental Defender, and of course Bastion. These are the ones that I'd focus on, not so much Quick Recovery. But the CP layout that I currently have here is just my PvE layout, so I don't use those numbers. It's not effective, trust me. So that's about it, guys. If you have any further questions, just feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you liked the video, hit that like button, and if you don't want to miss any more ESO content on my channel, just hit that sub button, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, bye bye.